100%. All right, let's move on to the Super Mario movie. Now, this movie was produced by, it was like a joint venture between Illumination, which does the Minion movies, and Nintendo. It's a joint operation, and I gotta say, right out the gate, the movie looks incredible. Like, just visually, it looks beautiful. And one of the things I love about the way they handled the characters is that they actually look like the characters we've seen so many times with like reboots and remakes, and like these studios, especially Disney. I love you, Disney, but you do this all the freaking time. You want to like reimagine these characters into something different, and it's like, no, these characters are popular because that's what people like grew up on, right? That version of Mickey, or that version of this or that character. Like, there's no need to like reimagine it.
But wait a second, I thought Bowser has to be gay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, yeah.
well, you're a wizard. You're assuming things right off the bat. Come on, wizard. Jeez, I thought more of you. But
yeah,
I'll say this. Look, OG, you're right. These characters have been honed for years and years and years in another marketplace. I mean, it is the video game industry versus the cinematic industry. But like, the characters look the way they do for a reason, and that's what people expect. This kind of, what is it? These expectations aligned with reality. Like, people expect these characters to look a certain way, and look, all I think about is the John Leguizamo take on the Super Nintendo world, Super Mario Brothers world, I should say, back in 1993. Like, ooh, that was rough. But even recently, like with Sonic, right? When they didn't get Sonic right, there was some feedback there, and to that studio's credit, they actually went back and actually did Sonic right. And I think that's what Nintendo is looking at. It's what was our previous foray into this realm, right? Especially when it comes to the American market, and what had recently happened before with Sonic. It's like, no. We're gonna give fans what they want. We're gonna be on model, let's say, with our characters in this world, and the film is so much better for it. I do agree with you, OG.
100%. Now, I do want to give a little credit to, now, Warner Brothers is going through some major stuff, okay, right now. And this is related to this, and I'll kind of make my case right now.
Sure.
Let me go ahead and remove this, because I think this kind of pertains to what we're just talking about. Okay, this is the Looney Tunes show that they released on HBO Max a few years ago.
Right.
And this is like the perfect example of how to bring in legacy characters and make them new, like in new content, right? But you're like respecting the hell out of the characters themselves. These shorts are absolutely gorgeously designed, gorgeously animated, and wow, look, that looks like Bugs Bunny. Can you believe it? And that looks like Marvin the Martian. I mean, it's so beautifully handled. Now, Warner Brothers shits the bed constantly with their Aquaman cartoon and other stuff. But on this, I think they handled it perfectly. And the Animaniacs show for Hulu is just as great. It's just as great. The characters look like the characters. I don't understand why a lot of these studios feel the need to like reimagine stuff. Look, the Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the Mickey Mouse cartoons, the shorts, they're very popular. I understand that, but for me personally, they always looked a little weird. Like, that doesn't look like Goofy. Like, what? Right. I don't get it, and maybe I'm too old for it or something. I don't know, but I like when they stick to how the characters look and they freshen them up with some new shiny animation. But you don't not gotta reinvent these characters. These characters have been around longer than most of us have.
Exactly. But we got to get a new generation there, OG. We got to get something that the kids are talking about and do all this. And these creatives come in and they don't necessarily have the biggest love for the franchise, let's say, and they want to reimagine it themselves. And no, stop. Guys, these characters are beloved for a reason. Just give people what they want. Right. And to Nintendo's credit, they stuck to their guns and they did it right here.
Now I got
Mario. Gorgeous.
Look at Mario. Absolutely beautiful animation. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the minions, but Illumination absolutely knocked this out of the park in terms of the animation quality. Is absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is on par with what we see at Pixar or Disney Animation. I do have to say, it is phenomenal. Now, I'm sure Nintendo had a big part in that. Nintendo is very quality driven, so they were pushing hard. I bet with the the quality end of it. But I do want to say one thing, because this is the elephant in the room, and we got to talk about it. Ethan, I'll start with you. Chris Pratt. We only heard a few things from Mario, but we got to hear Chris Pratt's version of Mario. What are your thoughts on the voice, how it fits with the character, yada yada?
Well, he sounds like he did in Jurassic World. So, so unless Mario's riding some horses, it definitely doesn't sound like Mario. But, I don't know. It's kind of weird because he's Italian. He's supposed to be, Mario Italian.
Yeah.
Like, no!
Yeah, right. We've heard this for many years. Mario, like you expect that whole thing.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure if people will get offended by that. I don't know, but I mean that's in the game. That's what it is. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I should hear more. And maybe he does it sound like he's trying with this. I heard people say. I saw people say. Chris Brown. I'm not Chris Brown. Chris Pratt.
Yep.
It has an accent. I didn't hear any accent, but I just have to go and check it again. But luckily, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, and the rest of the voice cast seemed brilliant, from what I heard in that teaser trailer. And it looks so gorgeous that I think I can forgive Chris Pratt's Mario. Even Luigi sounded kind of did he speak? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think he spoke. I don't know. I think he spoke a little Italian. I don't know. But yeah, the rest of the voice cast and the movie, especially the Peach's Castle, when that final zoom out shot looks gorgeous. Even the little guy right there, he sounds like a good guy. The rest of the voice cast sounds on point. Jack Black's doing a good job. So, I think I can forgive Chris Pratt because I'll be looking at everyone else.
Yeah, well, I think they did the classic animation thing, at least from like these other studios, right? It's like, we need like big names and big stars, attach them there, and have their names in the credits and the posters and so forth. And it's like, I don't think he necessarily had to do that. I think Mario itself was a strong enough brand that it would have brought people in. But OG, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you. I don't think that's a very old school mentality with the big voice cast and all that. You don't need any of that. Just find the right voice for the characters. Now, I will say this: the voice didn't bother me as much as I thought it would, and I've seen a few people on social media make this case, and I think it's a valid one. It's a me, Mario, and all that works good in a game.
Yeah.
Like, can you do like an hour and a half or 2 hours of that? It might kind of get a little grating,
Well, there was another movie that kind of attacked this whole issue in the form of Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, right?
Right.
What the high-pitched stuff necessarily would have, brought... Could you have really handled that for the entire length of 90 minutes or 120 minutes and so forth? I doubt it, right? But it also, if you get away from that voice a little bit, it allows the actor himself to perform this in a way that will bring the character to life in its own way. So I think that's kind of also too might be contributing here, and that's kind of what I think of when I see this. It's like, okay, well, it's not quite the Mario voice that we're used to. Chris Pratt, that's definitely a choice. However, for the length of a film and a character being brought to the screen in this way, it might actually be a plus in some regards. I think it would allow some variation in this performance that wouldn't quite have been possible had we just stuck to the Mario kind of whole thing that we know and love. And that's why I'm still excited for this. I don't really the voice is like, it's not a huge deal for me. I kind of know where they're going, what the mentality is going into this. And because of that, I'm actually quite excited to see what they do here. Wizard, do you feel similarly, or?
Yeah, you know, like I said, that looks too gorgeous for me not to be excited. It'll be funny though if he like during a part of it, maybe like a line or two, kind of like makes fun of that voice by like doing like in a mocking way, like come on Mario, and like almost like a metal joke. But oh my goodness, look at it! This thing is so gorgeous that I don't care what they say. They can say nothing, and I'll just be looking at this.
Well. This scene right here. I mean, if Universal really wants to, as our friend George says, go balls to the wall, you can almost build a Nintendo area very akin to a Pandora with those floating mountains and the waterfalls. I mean, you can do. This is the thing with Nintendo in terms of theme parks and what have you. It literally. Nintendo is like just endless potential. Endless. Yes. You can build an entire an entire theme park based on Nintendo IP.
Oh yeah. Zelda Land, like I'm going there tomorrow. Like, I'm booking vacations now if that's announced. I mean, that's it, right? You could do so much with this. Honestly, there is endless potential. Even what's depicted here in this trailer for theme park projects. I mean, it really is, and that this is why I'm really excited for stuff like this to be successful, because it's like, oh, between this, the movies that might come out from this, right? The merch that's going to be sold. Theme park potential is really limitless, and maybe they're constrained a little bit in terms of Hollywood, but Epic Universe, we know that's going to have built-in expansion slots on day one. Right. You know, who knows where this might go, and it might be really exciting. But I think when people start to watch this and kind of get immersed into this world that Illumination, in conjunction with Nintendo, is crafting here, I think all this will work, including voices and whatever the detractors say and so forth.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is actually one of the few movies done by Illumination I actually want to see. I gotta be completely honest with you. Look, Illumination is a powerhouse studio. They make a lot of successful movies. Minions are a franchise not to reckon with. They are very big. But for the most part, they're just not my thing personally. This movie, though, is my thing. I want to see this. I love how they handled the characters. I think the animation looks gorgeous. I'm all in. I'll see it for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just curiosity alone wants me, is drawing me in here. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I got to be honest. I did have a NES and a Super Nintendo back when I was a kid, but I really haven't explored outside of Super Smash Brothers, which that's just like everything. I'm not like a super huge Nintendo fan. But doing it in this way, bring the theme park the theme park version of this to life, and even the movie here. I mean, I'm my curiosity factor's through the roof right now. I gotta buy a ticket just to see how Nintendo and Illumination pull this off.
Absolutely. Now, from what I understand, Nintendo actually is opening up their own movie studio.
Yes, I did hear a little bit about that. Wizard, maybe you can provide some clarity on this.
I think I heard something like that. I don't know too much about it, but I do know they did or are doing it for like many movies like Zelda and Pokemon. I think didn't they produce the Detective Pokemon movie? What was that?
Oh, I don't.
They attached to that.
See, is it more of like is it more of a studio that's going to be overseeing the production of some of these films from other different studios, or is it going to be a production house? Is it going to be part of that pipeline, or just overseeing the pipeline? I'm not sure. That's what I had questions about myself.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and give me 1 second, and I'm going to see exactly. I'll tell you right now. Just give me one moment. Okay, here we go. Because this is interesting, and I think this actually definitely relates to this because, so Nintendo has officially launched its new animation studio, Nintendo Pictures. So this is an animation studio. So look, this Mario movie done by Illumination is probably going to be the last Nintendo based film for Illumination, because Nintendo now has its own studio. I would imagine the Nintendo stuff will now be funneled in through this studio. But it says here, it aims to create unique videos that will remain in memories forever. Nintendo has launched the official website for its new animation studio, Nintendo Pictures. The company announced in July that it planned to acquire Japanese CG company Dynamo Pictures with the intention of being to acquire 100% of its outstanding shares, making it wholly owned subsidiary. So they bought a Japanese CG company, Dynamo Pictures, and they're going to convert this studio into Nintendo Pictures and make their own content. That's interesting. Wow. That is absolutely interesting.
Very cool.
And Miyamoto has said that they want to Nintendo intends to create more movies based on its IP. So it's like, let's not just limit it to Mario. This could mean Donkey Kong. This could mean maybe even Zelda itself. And he also, I think some clarification came out in the form of maybe not having simultaneous productions, but producing this on a one-by-one basis in order to keep the quality high. This is really, really interesting here. I mean, you got the makings of a Japanese MCU, let's say.
No, you do. You do. And it's a smart move. It's always good when you're a company to diversify. And, there might be a day when people are just not into video games. And what's a company like Nintendo going to do? And Nintendo has a long history. Nintendo is like 100+ year company. And they used to sell like, I think like card games and stuff like way back in the day, and they reinvented itself into like a video game company. There might be a day where they have to reinvent themselves again, and it's good to have multiple media under one roof. And if they have to fall back on more movie studio stuff, maybe one day, well, now they're setting that up for the future. Very smart move by Nintendo. Well, a company like Nintendo isn't around for 100+ years by being dumb. So they know exactly what they are doing. So
they do.
Very smart company.
And they have been very they've been very choosy before in the past. Now that's not to say that everything that's rolled off with Nintendo's participation has been a home run. Like I said, that 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie was atrocious. However, I think they recognize the mistakes of the past. They understand this could be a burgeoning a product line for them. I think they'll and especially with a lot of it taking place in house, maybe under this new subsidiary here. This could be some really fun stuff for fans of this franchise here when it comes to the film side of things. I think it could be really cool.